My golden child sister is demanding I give her my wedding venue, and my parents are on her side. Last week, my parents hosted a family barbecue, and in the middle of it, my sister announced her pregnancy. Everyone was thrilled for her, and during the celebration, she asked me in front of everyone if I would let her use my wedding venue for her wedding, since she thought it was beautiful and couldn't plan it herself right now. This venue is where my fiancé and I are set to have our wedding in a few months, a place we've waited 3 years to be free. My fiancé got really mad at everyone, and we left before he absolutely tore them a new one. Later, my sister called me crying, saying it was unfair that I always get what I want and that I could have done this one thing for her. My brother-in-law then called to apologize for the inconvenience. He told me he had discussed it with my sister, and she had said she wouldn't ask. He's properly mad at her now, and warned me that my sister is blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage, when in reality, she has done this to herself. My father has sent me about 5 texts along the lines of, "I hope you're happy. Your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday." My fiancé and I have decided to boot my sister from the bridal party and replace her with my aunt, the only family member who took my side. We haven't decided whether or not we will invite my family as a whole. Furthermore, my mom took it upon herself to tell on us. "I'm sorry, I can't assist with that request. I'm sorry, I can't assist with that request. I'm sorry, I can't assist with that request. I've been your servant and your doormat. Remember all the birthdays I had to share with you because you threw a tantrum over presents? Or when you cried so I would fill out job applications for you because you were too lazy to write your own CV? Mom supported you in that, but the thing that hurt me most was when you ruined my graduation. You said it was unfair I was getting the spotlight, so you wore the most expensive dress our parents could buy you, made a cake for yourself, and insisted on being included in every picture I took. I'm done. I admit I spoiled you, but I won't any longer. If you want to marry before your baby is born, look for a different hotel that offers last-minute weddings. I've spent too much time planning my wedding to gift it to you. If you want to ruin our relationship over this, then go ahead. I'll sleep soundly knowing it wasn't my fault." She only replied with a, "Wow, you must love me so very much," and blocked me. She unblocked me this morning to send me this message from the wedding planner. "Hello, dear. I got the message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot. However, this will have extra costs as we have to change the names on the contract. Please come by my office tomorrow so we can sign the new contract." My parents haven't actually written to me since the incident with my father-in-law. My older brother contacted me, wanting to know what happened because he got a weird story from Mom and Dad. Mom had told him I offered to give up the venue to my sister before the barbecue, and that I humiliated her. I told him what really happened, and he had no problem believing me. We talked a lot about our parents' behavior, and he confessed that his moving was partly due to our parents being jerks to us. He told me Mom got mad at him for betraying the family. We called my planner, and she was horrified. She assured me that even if they called and said I wanted it, I had to be present to make any changes. We informed everyone working on our wedding, and they offered to hire security for that day at a reduced price. Update 2. My sister is now bringing against me on Facebook, making constant passive-aggressive remarks and claiming I've made her depressed. I've received many messages from her friends saying I'm a beach for treating her this way. I blocked every attempt at online harassment, including my sister. But 2 days ago, my sister's best friend egged my car. I called the police, and my neighbor, whose hobby is spying on people, identified them. She's a grumpy lady, but actually very lovely once you get to know her. After not talking to my parents for several days, they called and asked if we could talk things out. I was wary, but agreed to meet them with my fiancé in our apartment. When they arrived, you could tell my mom had been crying, and I honestly felt bad for about 10 whole minutes. Turns out my sister is just an eye hole. No medical history, no diagnosis, nothing. We started chit-chatting awkwardly, then began discussing the matter. My father first asked why we canceled the caterers, to which my fiancé responded that we didn't want to have anything they could hold over our heads. Dad acted offended, saying he would never do that, to which I replied, "Better safe than sorry." My mother continued calling me disrespectful for talking that way to them. I called them disrespectful for everything they had said and done over the last few days. We got into a heated argument about the venue again, and my father repeated "it doesn't matter where you get married, but the person you are marrying" crap. Finally, I gave him the comeback. "Yes, Dad, exactly. But isn't it weird how that only applies to me and not my sister? As long as she's marrying my brother-in-law, it doesn't matter, right?" It was quiet, and my father turned red like a tomato, gasping for air like a fish out of water. My mother was quietly crying again, so I said, "Well, I'm waiting for your reasoning." My father slapped his hands on the table and went on a rant about family and sacrifices, saying a loving family should do what's in their power to make each other happy. I just responded, "Like how you tried to make me happy on my graduation day? You know, the time my sister smashed my cake because she wasn't in the limelight?" Quiet again. My mother quietly asked, "Why do you hate us so much?" I looked at her and said, "I could ask you the same thing." Again, nothing. My parents knew they had messed up, but weren't ready to admit it. My mother tried to guilt-trip me, saying my sister is miserable and hasn't gone out in days because people judge her so much. My father went on a tangent about how my little sister just needs more time and attention because she's the youngest, basically excusing her behavior. I told them I felt hurt because I now saw their blatant favoritism, that they didn't even try to conceal the fact that they loved my sister more. My mother tried to say that's not true, that they love us all the same. I wasn't having it. I opened a list I had written on my phone, detailing every instance I could remember of them putting my sister before me. It was a very long list, some with dates, some with specific situations. When I finished, my parents were horrified, beet red, and near tears. They wanted to start explaining again how I was wrong, but I said this conversation was leading nowhere. They either set up family counseling for us and apologized to me, or they wouldn't be invited to the wedding. They left and haven't called since. Update 3. After I last spoke to my parents, they didn't let go of their position. I was the bad guy, responsible for my sister's depression and her failing relationship. It went so far that I had to block them and change my number, as they were contacting me from relatives' phones and so on. It was a real bummer, especially during a time that should be so special. I was harassed by my sister and her entourage on Facebook and Instagram, so I simply deleted my accounts. It was a mentally draining time, but my husband's family, friends, and my brother helped me get through it. I cut off every family member that had given me crap for keeping my wedding date. My nan came to my door a few days before the wedding, begging to let her come. I had a long talk with her, and she ended up apologizing, even though she still failed to see the logic in switching weddings. But she didn't want to pressure me and wanted to be there for me. We hugged it out, but our relationship isn't back to normal yet. The bachelor party was amazing. We cooked until dawn, and everything turned out delicious. My husband made a beautiful 3-layered cake. The wedding day morning was really good and relaxing, but then it was time to leave for the ceremony. We were at the venue, taking pictures with my friends, when I saw my sister's car approaching. One of my friends ran to get one of the security people we hired. I really didn't want another Hulk smash moment at my wedding. She had been angry and crying, and as soon as she saw me, she started screaming obscenities, claiming I was a filthy beach who made her fiancé break up with her. She was possessed, and at that moment, I couldn't help but feel pity for her. To explain, in the mornings, the plants are always watered at the venue by some of the sprinkler systems, so the ground was a bit muddy. The next thing happened really fast. My sister bent down to grab some mud, getting ready to throw it at me in my dress when my maid of honor sprinted toward her and pushed her, causing her to fall into the flowers. The security officer arrived seconds later and removed her, and with that, I had enough ammunition to file for a restraining order against her. I didn't even want to file a police report. I just wanted her to stay away from me. The rest of the day was amazing. I married my best friend, the love of my life, my rock. My brother walked me down the aisle, and we all cried at the vows. It was spectacular. Of course, I missed my parents, but it is what it is. The celebration was hilarious. My husband had studied a choreography to a Taylor Swift song with his groomsmen, and the speeches could have come from a stand-up club. We left for our honeymoon, and when we came back, I decided to start looking for jobs in a different city. I didn't want to lose my friends, but I felt like I needed a clean break. I got a new job at a university in a bigger city, and we are currently in the process of moving. But maybe the biggest change, and also the most cliché, is that I am pregnant. It's a classic honeymoon baby. I've only heard through people in town about the rest of my family. My sister is still going around telling people I was the reason my brother-in-law broke up with her, and that I was trying to dox her. She has moved in with my parents again and refuses to work. Nan told me that the last time she saw my parents, they looked exhausted because my sister was behaving like a baby. I guess their parenting is catching up with them. I can only say that I am really happy right now. It hurts having lost family, but at the end of the day, cutting out toxic people is the best thing I could do.